or by armbar. I mean, he had like 8 straight wins by armbar.
At one point when he fought for Pro Elite in the Elite XC on the Show XC series, he was like 11-1 or 2 or something, and like 9 of those wins were by armbar. 9 or 10 of them. It was just like, you know he's going to do it, and you can't stop it.
And you just took the words out of my mouth. At that point, you know what it should be easy to train for. Not easy to stop it, but you know what to defend against, what to work on before you fight him. And even all his opponents knowing that, he still managed to pull it off as many times as he did.
Here's Scolesdang's opponent, Rudy Morales, 1-1. This is the tail of the tape. Syndicate MMA. 1-1, 135 pounds. Height differential slightly favoring.
That is wrong. That's actually supposed to be Ron Scolesdang, not Joe Cisneros.
Yes.
A couple fights ago.
See, identity theft is not just on the internet.
It is not a victimless crime.
Yeah, no, it's happening right here now.
We're victimizing Scolesdang right now with our graphics.
It is not Cisneros, sir. Ruthless Rudy Morales. 1-1, Scolesdang 2-1. So good matchup on their records. Attendance increasing as the night goes on. Good to see that. Good to see the support locally for Family USA. We're at Commerce, California, at the Commerce Casino and Resort Hotel, right on the interstate, just south of Hollywood in downtown Los Angeles. If you don't know where Commerce is, that's where.
That hurts just watching.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. But I was out of breath.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, his official weight 134 pounds. Fighting out of Team Oyama, please welcome from Irvine, California, Ron Scolesdang. And now let's welcome his opponent across the cage in the red corner. His official weight 135 pounds. Fighting out of Syndicate MMA, let's welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Guatemala, Ruthless Rudy Morales.
And your fifth fight of the night, bantamweight fight, 135 pounds. Again, 3 3-minute rounds. Rudy Morales in the all-white with black trim. Got the knee pad and the ankle pad. Ron Scolesdang in the multicolored shorts with the blue gloves. Scolesdang the southpaw, Morales the right-handed fighter.
And a constant pulling with that right hand from the southpaw already. Wow, nice kick. Looks like a hook kick from Morales.
He threw that right away, almost to let Scolesdang know, hey, you don't know what's coming my way. Prepare for everything.
Right.
Scolesdang still measuring. Like you said, pawing out with that right hand. That left hand is cocked.
And you're talking about, too, you know, Morales making his case as a diverse striker against a guy coming from Team Oyama, who you can't be in Team Oyama and not be a diverse striker. Scolesdang showing it there.
For a 135-pounder, Scolesdang brings a lot of weight when he really wants to with those punches. I've seen him knock guys out cold in the amateur circuit. And when he really plants his feet and goes, it's amazing that 135-pound body can bring that much power.
He caught that leg and threw a 3-punch combination. Again, he throws another 2 right there. You're not even allowed to use the restroom at Team Oyama's gym, at Oyama's gym, if you don't throw more than 1 shot at a time.
They'll take down your license plate number and fine you.
Yeah, there's just no way. I mean, Scolesdang, look at that.
A mixture of kicks by Morales. Scolesdang responds with his own.
Scolesdang keeping his chin tucked. You see that?
Sure.
Very textbook.
Left hand very high, chin tucked. He's keeping that right shoulder high as well, extra protection from his chin. Very good job of covering up.
Got that constant metronome kind of thing going on with his right jab. He's throwing shots, dropping a level, ducking under, moving side to side. See it right there? Not an easy target. Morales studying his movement. Comes in with a knee.
I'm really liking Morales coming in with either flying knees or kind of front punches or front kicks.
And I was going to say something right there about that, too, because Morales is coming in with a very smart attack. When he does, he's plotting his moves well. However, Scolesdang is waiting for those moments like a kid on Christmas morning. Like, that's the time he throws, like, multiple shots every time Morales gets close enough.
And a head kick followed by a hook kick by Morales. Both missed, but if only one of those landed, Scolesdang's ears would be ringing right now.
That'd be a highlight reel moment.
Good left hook.
Scolesdang lands a clean. Morales again with the more white with black trim, with the knee brace and ankle brace on.
And Morales came out in a southpaw stance now. They both got the right foot forward. See if that was part of the game plan, or maybe just trying to throw Scolesdang for a loop.
Right, and that's one of the things when you're watching fighters that you don't know. If somebody's really having a hard time with an opponent and then they switch stance, usually they're trying to find something that works. In a case like this, I mean, it hasn't been bad for Morales fighting from the conventional stance. He might just be trying something else to see how it works, not if it works.
See if Morales fights any different now. He's changed his stance. Because a lot of time, not all the time, but in a lot of cases, guys will switch stance because they have more power or they're more comfortable throwing certain strikes from certain stances. You'll see if Morales changes things up now. He'll switch to a southpaw stance. Throwing more jabs, more punches now for Morales. Now he's back into the stance in the second round.
It'd be interesting if his output changes because of it, because it could change the pacing and feel of the round too. Because Scolesdang reacted a lot in that round; he countered a lot, and in volume that doubled what he was taking.
Morales is certainly the aggressor. He's always the one moving forward. Scolesdang, holding his ground at certain points, but that can definitely sway a judge if things are really close. Who's the one pressing forward?
Right. But it made for an exciting round when Morales came in and invested a lot of damage on Scolesdang. Scolesdang was like the bank of pain. He was paying back with high interest, throwing back 3 or 4.
It's a high yield
5.
savings bond.
Very much so. Very much so.
Good left straight by Scolesdang, followed by a leg kick.
Good nickname, bank of pain.
And we're cashing now.
Combinations on the inside by Scolesdang. Morales says something to him. Despite the fact that Scolesdang has caught Morales coming in, like he just did moments ago, Morales does not look like he could care less. He's got a mission, he knows what he's there to do, and he's coming inside whenever he wants.
Kind of a half-hearted spinning back fist attempt by Morales.
It was an on-the-job rehearsal, that move right there, but certainly gives you the impression with his speed that he's going to try to pull it off, perhaps.
Good timing on that shot by Morales. Right when Scolesdang was throwing that power, Morales came right in with the double leg. Scolesdang right back up to his feet. No problem. That's one of the big downsides of really planting your feet and throwing power is it opens you up to takedowns, and Morales took advantage of that. But to Scolesdang's credit, he was down for a split second, right back up, and they're punching each other again.
Scolesdang's got to be careful, too. He threw a couple shots there in that exchange with his head down, just winging them. He wasn't looking at his target. And Morales is going to take advantage of that if it happens again.
Morales has found the timing of Scolesdang's big hooks, and he's gotten 2 takedowns out of it, albeit 2 very quick takedowns, not a lot of damage. But in a
Morales, Scolesdang in the multi-pattern black and white, with the blue tape on his gloves. Rudy Morales in the white with black trim. He's got the knee and ankle brace on.
Morales just as aggressive. Scolesdang still with the same game plan, waiting to counter.
The only thing Morales has done differently, and we don't know if it's because of his opponent or not, was change the position from conventional to southpaw. Otherwise, he has done whatever he wants to do the whole fight. He has not changed to adapt to anything. And not that he has to, I'm just saying he seems to stick to his plan quite well.
I'm wondering if Morales has a wrestling background, because a lot of times, me being included, when you wrestle, if you're a right-handed wrestler, your right foot's forward. When you become a striker, you switch, like you just did to the conventional stance with your left foot forward. So I'm wondering if he switched stances knowing he was going to be shooting takedowns and he was more comfortable with his right foot forward. I'm not sure, but that's definitely something that I've done in my past.
No, that's a great instinct to do. That very well could be the case because, again, he wasn't adapting to something he wasn't handling well. He was just changing it.
And they're just slugging it out here in the corner. Scolesdang lands. Morales lands. Knee by Morales. 2 punches by Scolesdang land. Uppercut by Scolesdang. Jarring back the head of Morales like a Pez dispenser.
And Morales still standing there.
Chapin Morales, Scolesdang shucks it off.
Well, hope the folks at drawflex.com are watching the fight of the night. This could be it. If these guys keep the intensity at that level for the rest of this round.
Body kick by Scolesdang. Another flying knee by Morales, just misses.
Followed by a right hand. Rudy Morales is one tough customer. Man, that guy has not found a reason to stop coming forward at all.
Scolesdang now wise to those takedown attempts that were so good for Morales in the second round.
This could be a factor on the scoring of this fight, too. The fact that Morales is the one pushing forward most of the time.
Sure.
Even though in some of those exchanges it seems like Scolesdang lands the heavier shots. That makes it hard to score, I think.
And Scolesdang really hasn't changed anything up in the last 3 rounds. Basically doing the same thing. Waiting to counter with hooks. He's added an uppercut to his arsenal. That's found its home. Shrugging off takedowns.
Now he comes forward. That's one area that he could test, had he a little more time left, is test what Morales can do going back. He hasn't made him go backwards very much. He's done well against him, but not moving him backwards.
Last few seconds. Morales lands a couple, hook by Scolesdang. Uppercut jars Morales.
Scolesdang lands a shot.
Another hook by Scolesdang. Fun end to a fun fight.
Look at that. You can see like they both, between Morales, wanted to continue. The bell registered. Scolesdang stood the bell. Morales stood the bell. I'll point that respect out every time I call a mixed martial arts fight because of the sport.
Get the 3-4 yards of the running game. If you don't have a home run punch, you don't have a great passing attack or a Hail Mary, maybe when you need it. And Scolesdang, again, we don't know what the score is going to be because there were so many strikes landed. As you can see right now, a lot of flurries went Scolesdang's way. But when you've got a guy who's always pushing forward and always looking more aggressive, judges, if they think that's the decision, the deciding factor in a fight, you could lose a lot of fights that way. But we'll see. Again, we don't know what the judges saw so far. Very close competitive fight. Scolesdang certainly landed a lot of great punches. But so did Morales.
Yeah, I think Morales pushed the pace a little more. He was moving Scolesdang back more. But a lot of the big ooh and ah moments that happened from heavy strikes that did some damage came from Scolesdang. Like that. And even though they didn't damage Morales badly, a lot of times they had the theatrics of head movement and balance being off the combination of the strike landing. And that always plays to the judge as well. Well, our ring announcer Mike Bale is going to tell us in which way the scale tilts this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, for 3 rounds of MMA action, we go to the judges' scorecards, and we have a split decision. Judge Mike Beltran scores about 30-27. He hits it for Scolesdang. Judge Ron McCarthy scores about 29-28. He has it for Morales. And Judge Mylan Ayers scores about 29-28 for your winner by split decision, Ruthless Rudy Morales.
So the 2 judges saw it 29-28 Rudy Morales. The dissenting judge saw it 30-27 Scolesdang.
I knew what the outcome was going to be as soon as I heard 30-27 for Scolesdang and split decision. Usually when you have a split decision and one judge is so dominant in the scoring for one guy that they didn't even see it that close, chances are most likely the other 2 went the other way.
I think the 30-27 judge probably counted the power punches of Scolesdang and thought he won the striking battle because he landed the harder shots, and the other 2 judges saw the more diverse striking, the aggression of Rudy Morales, and he hit the score for it.
Some good camaraderie, both guys. Morales pointing at Scolesdang. It was a great fight. Both guys made a case to win it. Split decision I don't disagree with, but I just knew when one guy in a split decision scenario went 3-0 rounds for one fighter, that the split was that the other 2 agreed that it was close. Because nobody at 30-27 is seeing a fight as a split decision. So I knew that the other two went the other way.
And if you're new to mixed martial arts, maybe you don't see scores, you think, how does that make any sense? Two judges gave it 29-28 for one guy gave it 30-27 the other guy. You know, maybe a judge sucks or something. It's like, well, that is how intricate mixed martial arts is. You can get hung up on one thing and think one thing is more dominant and wins the round over others. And in this case, I mean, you can't tell me a single one of those rounds was clearly, no questionably won by one fighter.